Welcome back to the only place where prophecies are fulfilled, to the only place where a tank made of sticks and rocks can cause so much mayhem, where the strongest and the weakest amongst us can all be champion, where you win some, you lose some, and you tie a lot apparently. Where Danganronpa characters, OCs, and participants from universes near and far are ready to rumble. Welcome to Danganronpa Hunger Games by the Numbers, Season 9. Oh, good day. Good people, it is Christmas Eve. That's right. In this year of the Ascent, the year that is very quickly coming to a close, and a year that I don't know what year is about to follow it. Toon Link, Dave, Anomaly, the Anomalakaris, few know me as the man with the plan, and that plan is finale action, but first we gotta get through by the numbers with the United States Aviator. Welcome, good day, good people. I hope you're doing fantastic on this fine day. I don't know if I've already streamed, or if I'm streaming later. It's Thursday. Definitely streaming later. Hey, welcome back to By the Numbers. All of the numbers are in. All the way through the rumbles. And this season was truly phenomenal. It was something that it had moments where we had no idea what was about to unfold, and moments where we saw people tie. We'll get to that very momentarily. But we also had 6 fan votes in singles action, a fan vote in tag team action, and last but not least, very rare, 2 fan votes in OC action. And we're about to see how those folded out. Who came out on top of each of those polls? We're about to find out at the end of this one, but first we gotta get through this little seasonal recap. And let's go ahead and start, but before I ask you, tell me, who do you think got the most KOs total in this season? Who do you think was the most killingest team? And you have to remember, the last 2 episodes that we saw 2 people get tons of KOs. Was that enough to bring them to the top of the season? I'm not entirely sure, but we will see very shortly. In fact, that's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. And you know what? Go ahead and predict, which tag team do you think is going on to the tag team finale? The other ones, it's hard to just pick. It's hard to pick. Who knows? Who knows? But you can remember who those top 10 were, or rather the top 5 in that final poll. Go ahead, make those selections. But it is time to give a little recap of all the fantastic things that happened this season. Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this was the season of ties, and it didn't start in the season. It was prefaced in preseason with the queen of ties, Miss Naoko, and OC action tying with Kujo and becoming the first ever co-agents of chaos, and boy did they reign chaos, not once, but twice. Once in the 3rd episode, which saw Chi become the new OC champion. And then right after that in the free-for-all, every OC participating this season had a shot at the title, and coming out on top, it was Kaneko. An OC that has finished in the top 2 in every single OC championship match that she's been in. Can she hold that streak coming in to the OC finale tomorrow? But let's not gloss over what we were just talking about. We said Naoko, the queen of ties, not just because she tied Kujo, but she also tied in OC action this season, in actual seasonal play. Nathan and Naoko also took me down, because apparently taking me down is the way to get yourself a phenomenal tie in singles action. I shouldn't be losing this much. I really shouldn't. But they're not the only people I lost to. Former tag team partners in Yeet Ball action, Seiko and Mikan looked across at each other and they said, I can't fight you. They both said it to each other at the same time, and they came out clutch. They got another tie this season. But that's not the only ending that had more than one person. We've seen tag team action come up with tie after tie. We've seen it from three teams in 12 episodes finished strong in tag team action. The Kirigiri Protection Agency, the KPA, Kizakura and Yui, Gozu and Kuramata, the friendly fisticuffs, and the Robotics Club saw Kazuichi and Kibo come out together for Monica. But once again, that's not the only no finish that we've had. We had an actual no finish, the second ever no finish, and it was in the Tag Team Rumble. The Tag Team Rumble saw Jotaro in a state of frenzy and Boss caught in a trap, and they both perished in the same round, akin to two competitors landing at the same time, feet hitting the floor at the same time in the Royal Rumble, and thus they walked out together to go on to headline the Tag Team Finale. But that's not all that happened this season, ladies and gentlemen. Something that we call the prophecy. We saw both Kotoko and Masaru both pick up their own wins for the first time in seasonal action. And following that, we saw Best Boy and Best Girl for Season 9, Nagisa and Monica. And as we mentioned earlier, tying in the Rumble, Jotaro completes the prophecy, and the Warriors of Hope all pick up a win this season, 3 of them for the first time in seasonal action. And speaking of placements, Kyoko and Tengen, both are the only two to pull off 2 victories this season. Tengen, in both of them actually, in tag team action, earning you guys that fan vote. However, Kyoko earned her way for her team in tag team action and in singles action on her own merit. But we must remember, even though Jotaro technically pulled off a victory, he still got second twice this season. Almost got second 3 times. But he's not the only character who did that also. From Ultra Despair Girls, Komaru pulled off 2 second places this season. And you know what's, I don't really like to go over this category, especially not this season, because it really makes my Jinx look real bad. It makes my Jinx look terrible. Okay, we'll talk about it. Hey, the people who got last more than once this season. Hey, my singles ride or die Mukuro, and Momo. If that doesn't spell, haha, AB's Jinx is alive, well, and thriving, I don't know what does. It really, really does. It sure does. My Jinx, yeah, we've seen it too, and let me tell you, what, Hiroko? Hiroko U card? Yeah. Hiroko WR card? Yeah. But Jinx. Anywho, I digress. And this is also really interesting because you're getting a lot of this is just live reaction. Because I don't have a script this time. I usually write a script, but this time I was like, you know what, let's just wing it. Let's just wing it. A lot of the best things that I say come from me just winging it. So let's just go for it. And we will continue going to talk about KOs this season. First and foremost, let's go game by game. We'll start in singles action, and let me tell you, there is a huge jump in this one. There is a massive jump in this one. So much so, we're gonna start at 5 KOs. And those with 5 KOs in a single game are Ruruka, Kotoko, Nagisa, Kaito, Akane, Komaru, and Miss Quiet Maya herself. And when we take a peek at 6 KOs in a single game, we see Yui, Danganronpa 2's Hajime, Chisa's around, and Mr. Nagito. And this is where I say we do a jump, because nobody got 7, nobody got 8, nobody got 9. Nobody got 10. Peko, 11 in a single game. Goodness gracious. And while that was in the largest singles game this season, she still eliminated over 10% of the competition. So, you gotta give her props. You gotta give her her due. And she won that game. Major congratulations to Peko. But is she on top of total kills this season? We'll get there. We'll get there. For right now, let's go to tag teams in terms of KOs in a single game. This one is much less varied. It's an actual build-up. There's an actual build-up this time around, because in tag team action, there were a lot of KOs. Like with 5 KOs, we see Kotoko again. We see Miss Celeste Chiaki, Kana, Kazuichi, Lost Dimensions Mana, and Masaru, all claiming 5 KOs in a single game. And as we go to 6, we see hashtag Spoiled Oda, God Modes, Azuru, A Fairy's Guide to Everything Magical, Usami. Capture the Moment sees Angie taking 6, and last but not least, from the sinister side, we see Chisa. And only a pair of souls got 7 in a single game. Zero escapes Quark from the Brainiacs, and Nagito from the Unlucky Adventure Team, but as we go to 8, that 2 doubles up, as we see Himiko and Neku from a sweet super kick party, might I remind you. And we also see Boss and Kana all getting 8 KOs in a tag team game. But we go up again, and again we see from God Mode Azuru. Azuru, low-key popping off this season, but we also see Karumi from Where's My Glove, a hero in her own right, but she's not at the top of this list, as you remember, because it happened so recently, won the game for Mitarai and Mukuro with 12 KOs, a dozen KOs. Also, I believe, what, 10%? I think there were 120 people in that game, so yeah, 10% right on the dot. Yasuke from Pawn Shop with 12 KOs, a dozen. But did that make them the most killingest team this season? Because in terms of teams with the most KOs, we had a tie for 5th at 21 KOs between their whole team. It was Capture the Moment and the Shorty Sleepover sharing 21 KOs. Parsnip with 22 KOs snags the 3rd place. You know, you should expect that. It's a serial killer and one of the most dangerous entities to ever enter the arena. Turnip Boy. Next, we see the Womanagers actually held their own this season, had the best season they've ever had with 25 KOs between Yukiko, Boss, and Kanan. But let the record show that it's not showing off if you can back it up. They're called God Mode for a reason, because between the two of them, Yuta and Azuru, 27 KOs to their names. Well, I mean, that's nice and dandy to be completely honest, but that's just for the whole teams. We gotta actually see who got the most KOs total this season. Who done it? Who done it? There's actually a 3-way tie for 3rd. 2 of them being Warriors of Hope, Kotoko and Nagisa, because it was their season, it was the prophecy. But also, in the spirit of the holiday season, Miss Celeste also capitalized this season with 21 KOs to her name. However, though Celeste may be undisputed when it comes to holidays, undisputed in 2nd place, she might be disputed this season, Miss Mew, our Royal Rumble winner in singles action. 22 KOs total this season. But she's not at the top this season. He came, he saw, he was finally put on a team with a competent competitor. Azuru, 23 KOs, tops the charts this season in terms of KOs. But how does that this season affect the long standings of the top 10 killers of all time throughout 9 seasons? In a tie now for 10th, coming up strong with a pretty good season, Akane joins the top 10 tied with 107 with Seiko. That's right, everyone. Every single person in the top 10 has broken 100, some of them broken to the 120s. Tied for 8th, we see the holliest, the jolliest, Celeste. Tied with Miss Tinko herself. Dropping down to 7th, a respectable 112, not a strong season this season though, Kai A Day. Only 10 KOs this season. In fact, Kai Day's been kind of been slow these past 4 seasons, with 8 in season 6, 9 in season 8. She had 13 in season 7. And she's coming back up. She's coming back up. Kaine's coming back up. In fact, this season 10 is gonna be her season. Quote me on it. Quote me on it. In fact, her season's not even over yet because she's in the tag team finale. And let me tell you, Kiss from a Rose, they're coming out on top. You better believe it. And a tie for 5th, we see a double protagonist. Shuichi and Hajime tying at 117. 117, they're tied up for 5th place for all-time killers. And moving on, we see she's still in the top 5. She is undisputed. In fact, she actually climbed this season. She very much climbed this season because let me tell you, she had a season this season, Miss Mew. Undisputed Mew is now number 4 in the rankings. And could she climb? Oh, I'm sorry. She's not number 4, she's number 3 because it's a tie for 3rd because also at 118, sneaking in here. Well, she's not sneaking in here, she was already up here, but let me tell you, she's here. She's here and she's here to show the world. Toko. Not Genocide Jack. Toko is the murderous one. Toko is. Goodness gracious, who would have thunk? But now we get to our top 2. Someone did a little jump and someone fell a little back. Freaking Sayaka. You know her and you love her as the top killer, but now she's fallen to number 2 at 125 because at 126, one person had a pretty great season in terms of KOs, climbed the ranks in terms of KOs, and got to 126. A stepping stone for everyone else. This time he stepped over everyone else. Nagito, with 126 KOs, is your top killer across all 9 seasons. And you know, it's really funny to see some of these stats because sometimes I'm looking and I'm like, oh goodness gracious, this man's is number 1, and then in one season he had 1 KO, but in some of those other seasons he had some pretty crazy not triple digits, that'd be crazy, pretty crazy double digits. Ladies and gentlemen, Nagito is now on top of the world. Could he be on top in the singles finale? Because he's there. He's there and he's willing, ready, and able to prove that he is ready to hold the title that he has not held himself. He's been a tag team champion with Kokichi and Cell. In fact, Cell's held all the titles except for the Pancake Championship. Could he do that too? I don't know. We'll have to see about that. We'll have to wait and see. However, we got something extra to look at. We got a couple more things to look at before we reveal those fan votes to you. The characters who appear the most often, your top 6 most appearing characters were Nagito, Chihiro, and Kotoko. Rantaro, freaking Sayaka, and Chisa. Kotoko, Chihiro, and Nagito all at 16. Rantaro, Sayaka, and Chisa all at 17. But I digress. Other impressive feats this season saw Kyutaro in the Tag Team Rumble being the top eliminator with 4 KOs. Akane in the Singles Rumble with 5 KOs, but none more dangerous than the woman who nearly eliminated a third of the competition herself. Leoma is the record holder for most eliminations in a single Rumble ever. Because the Rumble will return. It might not return as the Retribution Rumble, but we might have a nice little Rumble every now and again, just because the Rumbles are fun. And of course, we must mention our winners for the Rumbles. We had Miss Mew, Undisputed Mew, Jotaro, and Boss. We've mentioned before, feet touching the ground at the same time. They warned me. The Komodo Alliance warned me. Ringo made her way through and won the OC Rumble herself. With rats, no less. Not reptiles. Apparently, there's just a lot of pests. A lot of pests in my arena. I need animal control. I need a janitor. We'll handle that. We'll handle that next season. I promise. We'll handle all of those things, and all of it's gonna be handled. You better believe it. You better believe your left ankle, but I think that's the majority of the things that we need to say. The majority of the things that we need to do. I'm Mr. 99-1. That's a thing. That's a thing that's going on. I think we're just ready. I think we're ready, and that recording's been going on for about the right amount of time. I think it's time. The moment you all have been waiting for. None of the brackets are complete, but they will be completed. As we look at your fan votes. Let's start by filling out singles. In the first singles fan vote, last placers, you guys knew in your hearts that she was doomed from the moment I said, hey, you're my ride or die. With 33.3% of the votes, Mukuro comes out on top, takes the victory. Congratulations, girl. You did it. You won. A whole third of the votes. A whole third of the votes. That's my girl. Y'all believe in her, and I believe in her. Mukuro deserves the world. She deserves the world. In fact, because of your votes, she could come out as a double champion before 2022. But we must move on, and we move on to your second placers. We saw Angie, Akane, Hina, Jotaro, Komaru, Azuru, and Ryoma. And this one was very close. Not the closest one at all. Not the closest one at all. It was a real battle between Ryoma and Komaru. But you might be screaming, not the Naegi's. Makoto's sister does come out on top. 29.6% of the votes is moving on to the singles finale. That's right, the cutest knight of them all. We have the buff knight, the cute knight, and the sword knight all going toe to toe, head to head. Goodness gracious. However, we must continue to the chaos blunders, those who finished in the bottom 10 when chaos reigned in singles action. And I was shocked when I looked at this. Most of the people who finished in the bottom 10 in that match made it to the finale somehow some other way, which is crazy to me. However, this one was not close in the slightest. Well, it was close at first, and then you guys blew it out of the water. Monosuke, Hiroko, Ibuki, Togami, and the Great Gozu walked in, but Ibuki is the one who walks out into the finale. Could she pull off another end of the season finale win? I don't know. With the members of Band-Aid all in the finale now? Clearly, Mikon and Seiko are on the same page. Can they get Ibuki behind them? We'll have to wait and see. But that's 3 down and 3 to go. The next 3 fan votes is where we saw the closest of all fan votes. And it was cross-teaming. We're not there yet. We're at cumulative KOs, people with 8+ KOs in singles action. A lot of the people already on the bracket. However, between Jotaro, Hajime, Akane, Gundam, Angie, and Makoto, it was actually very close between Hajime, Wizard Robe Hajime, and Gundam, the ultimate horn bearer. That man's the ultimate horn bearer will be sounding those horns as best he can in the singles finale because Gundam has made it via your good graces. However, now we'll move on to cross-teaming, as it was your next fan vote poll. It was a battle. It was a battle, so much so that I thought I was going to have to break a 5-way tie. But someone did pull slightly ahead, ever so slightly ahead. In fact, just like 2 votes ahead. It was a battle between Bennett from Genshin Impact, Kana from Your Turn to Die, Dimitri from Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Mana from Lost Dimension, and Kibo of Danganronpa. Those were the 5 who were dueling it out for a final spot. But let me tell you, You guys wanted storytelling, much like how Joe was desperate to evade Red-Eyed Sarah in the Royal Rumble match. So has seen better days. And now Kana's going to be in to try and bring So back to his senses. With just 13.7% of the vote, you can see how far those votes were spaced out, my gosh. And while I say it was a battle for 5, below that, there were just, everyone got votes. Everyone got votes. Everyone got votes. It's just, that one was extremely close. Very, very close. Surprise run-ins, the final fan vote. Everyone who entered earlier than expected in the singles Royal Rumble: Akane Hiroko, Mahiru Tenko, Kibo, and Maki. The choice should have been clear. It should have been Mama. What were y'all doing? Y'all are crazy. But I can't be mad at little Maki joining the fray. She was supposed to enter last, she was supposed to enter 30th, and now you guys are giving her another shot. Maki, with really 35.3% of the votes, she took this one. She stole that one. She was like, oh yeah, this one's mine. This one's mine. Wasn't even close. It was close for a little bit, wasn't even close after that. Let's move quickly to OC, since they had the next amount of fan votes. They had the next largest amount of fan votes. They had 2 to their names. And we'll start with the Rumble Eliminators. Those who got KOs in Rumbles, it was honestly pretty close between 3 people. Between Leaf, Lau, and Kujo, but all in all, at the very end, the Agent of Chaos this season found his way into the championship match, the Ultimate Seducer, Kujo, snuck out the victory. And while that one was close, this one was way closer than I expected it to be. Way closer. It was a 1-vote differential. A 1-vote differential between 2 people. Most brutal OCs, those with 3+ KOs and OC action excluding the Rumble match. This was a heated battle. A heated battle, and not even between 2 of them, really 3 of them. Really 3 of them. Tingy, Marigold, and Murasaki. They were the ones who told the story of the second one. And by 1 vote, a single vote over Marigold, Murasaki is going on to see another shot at the title. 1 vote below was Marigold, and then 2 votes below Marigold was Tingy. Extremely close between those 3, but your voices have been heard, and Murasaki is now there on that now completed OC bracket. And with 1 more to complete, I do believe it is time to talk about your tag team fan votes, and you already know that this one was close. You already know that these were close. How close were they, Avi? It was so close that in the second round I had to include an extra team because there was a tie. There was a large tie, and I was like, well, let's just put them into. But let me tell you, here in the tag team fan vote final round, this was almost a 5-way tie. I kid you not. This was almost a 5-way tie between the Wolfpack, Parsnip, the Chunibiu family, Rock On, and To Be Me. In fact, let me take a step all the way back and tell you who won every single one of every single round. In the first round, the Wolfpack just barely won the first fan vote by a single vote over Parsnip. In the second round, there was a tie for first between, a 3-way tie for first in fact, between Rock On, the Chunibiu family, and Parsnip. Right behind them, 1 vote behind them, was To Be Me. And as we go on to the final fan vote, you know the teams who are in. And once again, by a single vote. A single vote. Like, let me tell you, one team won by 1 vote. The next team, down 1 vote. The next 2 teams, tied for 3rd. A vote behind them. And the last team, a vote behind them. I want you guys to know, this one was drastically close. So close, I was thinking about just saying, if there's like a 4 or 5-way tie, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how you guys almost evenly split this one, but let me tell you how worrisome it was. To Be Me, by a vote over Rock On, won this poll. Chunibiu family and the Wolfpack were right after them, and Parsnip were right after them. It is shocking. And it's so shocking because it's like, make sure you get your votes in, because those 1 votes for some of these polls can make a difference, especially when those 5 teams, apparently the most popular 5 teams, and it's a good split between those 5 teams to see what people love. Whew! Oh, I think we also need to say honorable mentions as we look at this completed tag team bracket. Honorable mentions to the team of Liar Liar and the team of Joe Mama, who just missed the top 5 by a single vote as well. That's why I'm saying, those 1 votes, they matter. Those single votes, if you miss 1 set of these votes, it matters. It matters a lot, but that's crazy, that's wild. And that is the completed tag team bracket. Tag teams will come into play next Thursday. Singles will be on New Year's Eve, but your OCs will be here tomorrow. Tomorrow. The 24th of December, Christmas Eve, reigns in potentially a new champion, or will Kaneko be the first OC to retain the OC championship? It's a possibility, but we'll have to wait less than 24 hours. It'll be a premiere, and it'll be right here. Same US Aviator time, same US Aviator place, except when I say same US Aviator time, sometimes the time is like an hour earlier if it's on a Sunday, because, you know, OC action, you like to be a little bit earlier so that it's not too late for the people and the other. Look, thanks for watching. This has been By the Numbers Season 9. A season that's been full of ties, a season that had the prophecy, a season that is about to close along with 2021. Hope to see you all in 2022. But until then, Toon Link, Dave, Anomaly, the Anomalacars for one of the last times in the Year of the Ascent. Toodaloo, Flight Crew. Until OC action tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Wait a minute, there is one more thing that we have to do, and that's talk about the secret episode. Never forget, because if you guys still want, like, if you're like, oh, you know, it's just weird not to have a good old Hunger Games right now. Secret episode, it's in the playlist. Go ahead and check it out. It's in the playlist. Do I put it in the playlist? We're gonna put it in the playlist. It's a secret episode. It's also maybe in the icon. Sometimes YouTube's weird about the icon. Let me tell you how you would have found it this season. As you might have maybe caught a glimpse of, every time we've had a different song play when there was a winner. And then we went drastically suddenly back to our original music. If you looked in the description and you looked at the first letter of the song that was being played, it was in the description. You have to give the credit to the good people. That is how you found the secret episode. But that's not all. You just get a list of the characters. You don't know how they're uppercase, lowercase, or even numberized. That is where the Horn Bearers came in. They were a part of the secret episode this season. One direction they were going, that meant lowercase. The other direction they were going, that meant uppercase. And if they failed to show up at all, making me look like a fool when I said sound the horns and then they just weren't there, they must have been on break or something? No, they weren't on break. They were telling you, but that's not a letter. Oh, that's a number. They only show up for the letters. They don't show up for numbers. No. That is how you found the secret episode this season. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed it. This has been By the Numbers. And if you want to, I'm not even going to say what the secret achievements that weren't hit this time. I won't say that, because you can watch the secret episode to find out what those secret achievements were. Go ahead and check it out. Toodle it, like for it, and as always, thanks for watching.